Let's give Shan Stratton a big round of applause.
All right, everyone hear me okay? Hey, how many of you are ready to have a good day? How many of you are willing to open up your minds and your hearts to something that may be different than what you've known in the past? Anybody?
Yeah.
What we're going to talk about today are some things that I think we can all agree on, and that begins with the fact that in this country and even around the world, I don't think we're getting healthier. In general, we are getting less healthy. Would you all agree with me?
Yeah.
Is there more cancer or less cancer?
More.
More diabetes, less diabetes?
More.
More joint degeneration, less joint degeneration? More. More. Folks, we can't keep doing the same things that we're doing now and expect a different result. So part of what I'm going to share with you today and the other speakers is what's going on out there and what are some alternatives to what we're doing. And then your job is to simply take that in and then ask yourself, does that make sense to me? Can that make a difference in my life and the lives of my family, friends, colleagues, and others? And if so, you have to actively make those changes. Is that fair enough to ask of you?
Yes.
Okay. So with that said, my name is Shan Stratton. I was born and raised in Arizona. Arizona is a place that I love. I'm fortunate to be from there. I always love to get out of there during the summer like this. In fact, I think I left about 108 degrees is around what it's going to be today. So out here in beautiful St. Louis, I love St. Louis. I've come in often. Had the great fortune of working with a very good organization such as the St. Louis Cardinals right here locally. So, great people there. But I've always been into health and wellness thanks to my mom and my dad to some degree. But mom is the one that really from a young age started teaching us about the value of taking care of this great blessing that God has given us that we call our body. And we only get one shot at it. Some people say, well, that's unfair. Unfair or not, I don't know a way around it, guys. We get one shot at taking care of this great body. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't fix some of the issues that we've created. How many of you did something, or ate things, or drank things, or maybe even smoked things back when you were younger that now you wish, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that? Anybody? I think we all have. You know what that is? That's called life. That's called life. And life is something that we get to make improvements in, and then all of a sudden we look back and maybe we made an error. But we get to make those changes as we move forward. And so I hope that I'm able to share with you today some points that are going to allow you to walk out of here and say, I can be a better, healthier person by what I learned today. Yes. That's my goal, and that's what I hope to share with you over the next hour and a half. So with that said, to share a little bit of my family. As I told you, I grew up in Arizona, married to an amazing wife, been married over 20 years. My son, I have three kids. My oldest son is in Malaysia right now, serving a mission for the church. My daughter is 20 years old. She just moved back into Arizona. Missed her so much. We have a great relationship. And then my youngest son is 14 years old, and he is still at home, obviously. So I've got a great family that support me and our mission. And our mission as a family, guys, is to enhance and enrich the quality of life for millions of people around the world by providing the products, the services, and like what we're doing here today, the education that is needed for people to live an alkalizing lifestyle. That's what drives me every day, and that's what drives my family. This isn't a job for us. I don't get up and travel to St. Louis, or travel to China next week, or travel to Malaysia in a month, or travel to Canada, I think, in a few weeks. I don't do that because it's a job. I do that because it's an opportunity for me to take one step closer to a mission, which is to enhance the lives of millions of people. So by you allowing me to come here, by you taking your Saturday and coming and listening, it allows me and my family to grow because we're coming closer to our mission. I share that with you because I hope that each and every one of you have your own personal drive, have your own personal mission statement. And if you don't, I'm going to invite you to take a few minutes, hours, weeks, or maybe even months to create a statement that drives you to wake up every morning. It doesn't have to be related to health or fitness. It might be religious. It might be physical. It might be more emotional. Whatever it is, you've got to have something that drives you to do what you do every day. Otherwise, each and every day is just to get by. Folks, don't get by. Don't just get by. This is a great blessing that we get to live here on this earth. There's so much joy and love and happiness. And we're in a day and age where when you watch the TV, it's all negative. It's all sad. It's all political. It's all the bad stuff. But let's rise above that and look at how many great blessings, how many great opportunities we have in our own communities, states, countries. I've been so fortunate to be able to work closer to this mission with my family, and that's part of what I do here today. And I hope that I can do it in a way that allows each and every one of you, again, to walk out these doors, and I don't even care if you remember my name, but if you remember a statement, a sentence, a feeling, a thought, an emotion that allows you to say, I'm going to be a better person because of what I heard today. That's what this day is all about. This is your day. This isn't Rick's day. This isn't Loretta's day. This isn't Shan's day. This is your day. And I hope that I get to be part of it in that sense and that sense alone. Many of you know that I've been fortunate and blessed to work with some of the greatest athletic organizations in the world. And I'm truly, truly humbled to have worked with every single one of them. Now please be very clear. I know that we have some people that are broadcasting live Facebook. I know we have some recordings going on. Please understand, please accept when I state that none of these teams endorse Enagic. None of them endorse Shan Stratton. I simply share with you that these are organizations that I've had the honor of working with one aspect to another over the past 20 years. Some of the individuals, I'm just going to go right through these really quickly. We want to get to the meat of the stuff. Coach Joe Troy with the Yankees, great friend, great individual. Bunch of the individual athletes, I tried to mix in some baseball, basketball, football, hockey, golf, some of the great top golfers in the world. Famous people, Hulk Hogan, Maria Sharapova. That list goes on and on. Garth Brooks up there on the left. I've had the opportunity of sitting down with Donald Trump. Whether you like him or not, I sat down with Donald Trump and I learned some great things, guys. Now, granted, when I sat with Donald Trump, there were 2,000 people in between where I sat and Donald sat. But I sat down and some of the things that I learned truly was amazing. And one of the things that I did learn at that event was a statement that he said. You find a need and fulfill that need, you will always have a successful business. You find that need and fulfill that need, you will always have a successful business. How many of you believe that there is a need for increased health care in America today? How many of you believe that we have at least one piece of fulfilling that missing part?
Yes, sir.
We will always have a successful business. What better guarantee is there than that? That's what we get to do. So as I've sat down with some of these great people, these great organizations, again, I'm humbled. I truly am humbled to have had those opportunities. And again, I'm always trying to be so clear because I don't want anybody in our organization of Enagic or within my company, Core Health Products, or just in general, to think that these companies endorse us because it costs money, effort, time to get organizations like that to do it. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in people like you endorsing our company way more than people like them. People like you that are sitting here saying, it improved my quality of life. How many of you have noticed an improvement in your quality of life with this water? That endorsement's way more than anything else that we could do. Personal testimonies, personal feelings, personal growth. That carries way more weight than anything else. $2.7 trillion being spent on health care, folks. $2.7 trillion spent every year on health care. Now, I can't even get my mind around how much money that is, okay? How many of you know Michelle Raley? You know she's here today? Yeah. She gets to speak with us. Not even Michelle Raley makes $2.7 trillion. Now, I don't want to take any thunder away from her because she may come up here and say, yes, I do. I don't know, but I don't think she does. Okay? $2.7 trillion spent on what we call health care. Now, wouldn't that imply that we're caring for people's health? It would imply that, wouldn't it? I disagree. I think that what we have in place is a facade. It's not health care. It's sick management. It's a program that says, we're going to give you money and pay for sickness and things like that, but only after you have cancer, after you have diabetes, after you have cholesterol, after you have heart disease, after you have a heart attack. That's when we're going to kick it in. That's sick management. Nobody can care for your health better than you can. We have to take that into our own hands. We have to take that responsibility and say, I've been given kids and grandkids and friends and family, and my responsibility is to bring health and care for their health by providing them the tools, education necessary to allow them to have that health. Y'all agree with me?
Yes.
So if that's our responsibility, then parts of what I share with you here today will make sense. As to tools, I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. But if we can touch on a few important pieces of improving the quality of life, health care, then we can get away from the fact that 90% of this $2.7 trillion is spent after people are sick. 90%. 9 out of $10 that are spent on sickness is spent after people are sick. We got to get away from that. You can hear me say over and over and over today, we do the same things today that we did yesterday. We're going to have the same problems tomorrow that we have today. How many of you believe that we have some problems with health in America today?
I do.
We do. So we can't keep doing the same things, right? We can't keep learning from the same books. We can't keep pulling the same studies. We can't keep following the same diets. We can't keep drinking the same things. We can't keep doing the same things that we've been doing. We've got to be able to come together, open our minds up and say, okay, so what are the alternatives? What other things can we do? One of which is to change the largest component of your body, which is what? Water. You want to make the biggest change? Change the largest component. Largest component of our body is water. So we're going to talk about that. There are a lot of different pieces to this health puzzle. See, I look at health as like this big puzzle. We've all done puzzles. Maybe not, it was when you were a child. Maybe it was recently. But you remember, you get this puzzle box. You put the box up here. You look at the picture. And then you start putting these pieces together. Remember it? Think back to these pictures. Think back to putting this puzzle together. And each piece that went in, that picture became a little more clear. Until there were 5 or 6 or 7 pieces left. Oh, I'm about there. You look at the picture, it's beautiful, you're about there, and all of a sudden you realize there are 3 pieces missing to this puzzle. You all remember what I'm talking about? Ah, you can't, I don't care how hard you try, this beautiful picture, and all you see is what? The 3 missing pieces. Same thing with health. We can all be healthy, but often people are saying, but my cholesterol's a little bit high. I feel good. My energy's great, but a little bit overweight. Hey, all my blood work came back great. I get this all the time. People come to my office. Shan, all my blood work came back great. The numbers on paper, I'm a healthy person, but I just don't have much energy. See, those are the parts that we want to fill. There are a lot of pieces to this puzzle, guys, and I certainly don't have all of them, but there are 2 of them that I do believe that I have a pretty good handle on. Nutrition, supplementation, nutrients that the body can use, and hydration. Those are the two parts that we're going to focus on here today. Those are the two parts that I hope I can teach you a different way of looking at it to enhance your desire to make a change in your life, or maybe more importantly, those lives of your children, your grandchildren, your parents, your grandparents. See, how many of you have touched the lives of your family with this water? Not many more blessings greater than that, is there? No. Not many more blessings greater than being able to say, Dad, man, I'm glad you're feeling better. When you have a relationship like I do with my parents and my kids, that's what it's all about every day. So I'm honored to be able to share with you the information that I have learned that hopefully helps each and every one of you. Now, as I said earlier, largest component of the body is water. In fact, we're going to use a reference of 75% just as a discussion point. Because whether you know it or not, we can't give a number. I often hear people say, the body's made up 80% water. Well, that's not true, because when you're born, you're almost 90% water. And as you age, it goes down, 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 all the way down to a dehydrated state, and that is common in elderly. So we're going to use a general statement for this day's discussion of 75-80%, roughly in that area. It's important for me to point out over on the right that I put the percentage of water that various different organs are made up of. The brain is about 80% water. The bones, about 13% water. Muscles, blood, kidneys, they all have a high percentage of water. I did not list the organ that has the highest content of water more than any other organ in the body. Anybody want to guess?
Skin.
Skin? Nope.
Heart. Brain.
Heart? No, sir.
Brain.
Brain? No, ma'am. Shouldn't be this hard, right?
Right.
There's an organ, and we can't live without many of them. There's an organ that is higher content made up of water than any other organ in our body. This little thing they call lungs. Lungs. Now, why is that important? Some people would say so. There's some other that are high too. Organ that is highest amount of water, lungs. What is the one of the fastest and continuing to grow fastest cancers in America today? Lung cancer. So if I have an organ that is made up 90, 91, 92, 93% water, and the risk of that cancer continues to increase, what is probably the most common factor that drives that risk? The water. Whether it be a lack of, whether it be too much, or whether it be the wrong kind. See, if I have an organ that is made up of tissue, and that tissue is saturated with 91, 92, 3% acidic water, what does acid promote?
Disease.
Disease, cancer, illness, sickness. Now you're going to hear me talk about in a little bit another one of the two fastest growing cancers. One is throat cancer, esophageal cancer. And isn't there something called gastroesophageal reflux disease?
Yeah.
Which is what? High quantity of acid. Another one of the fastest growing forms of cancer. One of the other fastest growing forms of cancer, colon. Colon cancer. Undigested food increases acid production. Increased acid production in that GI tract increases the risk of cancer. So folks, I'm not going to stand here and say, I'm telling you right now that this is why we have lung cancer. I'm going to tell you, though, that it makes a lot of sense to me that the three fastest growing cancers are the areas that have the largest component of acid and or alkaline imbalance. Something to think about. How many of you have learned something today you didn't know before you came here? Anybody yet? Okay. I got about half of you to go. Let's go. Here's what the star of today is, guys. We're going to talk about this star right here. Okay? We are referred to it as Kangen water, the SD501, in this form platinum. But it's more than that. It's more than that. I refer to it as like the Hennessy Venom GT750. It's just the top of the line. And if one of those cars roll out somewhere, you don't just say, there's a Hennessy. No. You say, that's a Hennessy GT 750. And that's how we should be referring to our technology. It's not SD501. It's not Kangen water. It is an SD501 that can change our lives. And if we have that kind of passion about it, because we felt and know of the changes that it makes, it allows us to share a more passionate story. But you have to believe in the technology. And if you don't, you're going to have a hard time building the health side of your business. Now, what I mean by that is you're going to hear later today people talk about the business side of the business. See, there are many people, some of you in here, and there's nothing wrong with saying, that's a great technology, but it's nothing more than a vehicle to pay my bills and to make good financial health. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. But you better have a passion and a love for whatever it is that you focus on, and stop faking like it's the health if it's not. People see right through it. Talk to people all the time. Oh, all I care about is people's health. But their actions don't show that. What they care about is the business side and making money. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't act like it's the health if it's the financial part. Embrace what you love. Embrace what drives you. And if it's the money, good. That's fine. Magic water right there. You know, Loretta was up here and she talked about her age. Isn't she an amazingly beautiful person for 58 years old? I mean, I sit back there and I'm impressed. But I think, well, that's not that impressive. The reason I say that is because I'm 93. Look what the water's done for me. So I'm one up on you, Loretta. Folks, we do have a technology and a water that I believe, personally, is making a difference in people's lives. And as we watch it continue to grow, we see more and more change that makes. It doesn't make it magical. It just makes it something that works. And that's important to me. Okay, let's talk a little bit about antioxidants. When we hear the word oxidation, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Rust. How did I know you were going to say that? What's the second thing that comes to your mind? Aging, maybe? How about sickness? How about illnesses, joint pain, slow recovery, diabetes, cancer? When we hear oxidation, did some of those words come to your mind? Yeah. Okay, it does. We've been taught that. We know that increased oxidation increases our risks of disease. And if that is the case, we also then have been smart enough to say, okay, so if oxidation is bad internally, how are we going to slow that down? We know that things like pollution, electromagnetic fields, cell phones, physical stress, emotional stress, these are types of things that cause oxidation. So to combat that, we have what are called what? Antioxidants. Things such as fruits and vegetables. How many of you knew that fruits and vegetables are antioxidants? Probably everybody in this room. How many of you are not going to raise your hand no matter what I ask today? I see a few of you. Good fats, essential fatty acids. I'm going to talk a little bit about more about essential fatty acids a little bit later on. Very important as an antioxidant. Vitamins A, C, E, selenium. These are great antioxidants. These are what I taught for many years. I've been in this industry for 23, 24 years. For years, I taught those as the primary source of antioxidant. But fortunately now, I know that as important as they are, we've got even a more potent, powerful form of antioxidant known as negatively ionized or active hydrogen that we generically refer to as what? Kangen water. One of the greatest antioxidants that there is. Folks, it's my belief, because I've spent much time in many countries, especially the Asian countries, that will sell bottles of 60-count antioxidant pills for $200, $300, $400, $500. because they see and know the value of antioxidants. And I say, we have a product that's much more powerful than that, and we get to do it every day. Many of you that watch my live webinars, or have seen it in my other demonstrations, you know that I often talk about, we're spoiled. Lift of a lever, twist of a knob, and we have the greatest antioxidant as much as we want. Not just one bottle, not just 1 gallon, hundreds and thousands of gallons, however much we want. Lift of a lever, twist of a knob. I'll be the first to admit, we are spoiled. I am spoiled. I work very hard. And if and when I get a few minutes late in the evening to sit down with my wife and maybe watch something on TV or listen to the radio or just talk, oh, sit down, recline, oh, it's nice. And then it hits me, I gotta walk all the way over there to get me a whole glass of Kangen water. We're spoiled. 5 steps, lift of a lever, twist of a knob, and we have the greatest potential to reduce the oxidative processes that go on within our body that's affected by things like electromagnetic fields, cell phones, microwaves, TVs. Is that going to get better or worse? Things like pollution, pesticides, herbicides, things like that. It's going to get better or worse? We're going to get worse. That is the way it is. I tell my kids all the time when they say, that doesn't really seem fair. Guess what, kids? Life is not fair. It's not. Never will be. But what makes it an even playing ground, we get to choose. If something isn't fair over here, change it over here and balance them back out. Life is not fair. Dad, it's not fair. Everyone else gets to go to this party. Guess what? Life isn't fair. It's the way it is. And the reason I share that with you is because I hope that each one of us realize that, you know what? It's the way it is. Pollution's going to get worse. Pesticides are going to get worse. Electromagnetic fields are going to get worse. Physical stress, emotional stress might get worse. But you know what? We get to balance that out. You got to make the choice, though. You have to make the choice to be a healthier person. I don't care what I say. I often say things, and by the end you're going to be sick and tired of saying, I know, you say it to your kids. I love sharing things that I share with my kids. One of the things that I teach my children is, we as parents, we can't ground you into being a good person. We can't. We can't take things away from you to make you a better person. You have to choose for yourself, son. Do you want to be a good person or not? My job is to help guide you down that way, to tell you this is right and this is wrong, to help you understand this. But ultimately, you've got to choose, son. Shandy, my daughter, you want to be the kind of lady that guys want to be married to? I can't ground you into being that person. But I can give you the directions. I can offer you the things that I and your mom have learned. Those are the types of things that we get to do to our friends and family about health. We can't force them into drinking our water, but we can offer them the education, we can offer them the motivational stories, and we can offer them the physical water themselves. Anything more than that, if it's going to take you more than that, my suggestion is move on. Because there are millions of people that are out there searching for you every day. Don't spend your time on those that aren't ready. We don't judge them. That's okay. It's just that they're not ready today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe never. But our job is to provide the groundwork, and that's it. Now, why is all this important about antioxidants? Because we actually have a way of measuring whether the drinks that we consume are high in antioxidants or neutral, meaning they don't have any antioxidants, or even they're oxidizing. What do you mean they're oxidizing? Am I saying that maybe some of these common waters that we drink oxidize the body faster than others? Is that what I'm saying? Yes, I am. I didn't know that before I got involved in this company and had this education. I'm not too proud to say there's a lot of things that I'm still learning. That's the great part about this industry. Now, how many of you have never seen a water demonstration? Anybody? Okay, there's a few of you. So what I want to do just very briefly, very quickly is, in fact, I'm not even going to do that right now. I'm just going to show you. There is a meter that we can use. The reason I'm not going to show it is because you can't read the numbers on it anyway. But we can take this meter. It's called an ORP meter. Oxidation Reduction Potential. What? Oxidation Reduction Potential. How many of you didn't know what that word was before you got involved in this company? Almost every one of us, right? How many of you still today tell people, but we've got the best ORP of any product out there? You don't have to raise your hand, but I know you're out there. If you didn't know it beforehand, why do you expect someone else to know it? And when you didn't know it the time before, how did you feel? Hey, maybe that's something I'm supposed to know. Man, they must be smarter than me. So what do you want to do? You want to get away. You don't want to hear someone talk about something that they've already made you feel like, you should know this. We have the greatest ORP of anything out there. I personally say, quit using that word. Quit using it until they understand what you're talking about. I like to switch it around. See, people understand when we're talking about, we have the potential to reduce the oxidative processes. Is oxidation bad? See, inherently most people know that oxidation is not a good thing. But we have something that helps reduce that oxidative process. And we do it with something that is high in antioxidants. And we use this meter. We can actually put this end in a cup of water of any one of these drinks that you commonly consume. I mean, how many of you drank Dasani beforehand? That was your poison of choice, okay? I mean, water of choice, I'm sorry. Aquafina, anybody? Okay, Aquafina. How many of you just drank whatever was available because water is water? Right? We can show you now with a meter that's used across the industries whether a drink has high antioxidants, neutral, or oxidizing. Here's what's interesting. Bottled water is on the positive side, which means it is oxidizing. It actively oxidizes the body. It actively reduces health in the body. It actively rusts, oxidizes the body. Even further, more oxidizing, tap water. Even more than that, sports drinks and soda. They're positive 400. Meaning they're oxidizing the body at a fast rate. How many of you did not know before seeing this demonstration, not mine, but a demonstration like this within this company, did not know that your bottled water was causing you to age faster? I didn't, and I'm in the industry. Is that something that people should be aware of? Yes. Absolutely should. Now again, that's one of those things that, hey, it's not fair, but it is what it is. Let's not complain. Let's not kick rocks. Poor me. Blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. So let's fix it. Let's find things that are anti-oxidizing. Vitamin C. How many of you have actively consumed orange juice because you knew, hey, there's some health to it. It's an antioxidant. Right? How many of you actively consumed cod liver oil? Bet there's not. Okay. We have some. But guess what? We have something that's more antioxidizing than any of these. More antioxidant than vitamin C, more so than green tea, more so than most of the other things or than any of them that I know of. And we have access to that lift of a lever, twist of a knob. All we want. There's no limit on it. There's nothing that says, well, you get 1 gallon a day. But yet there are people all around the world in other countries that walk and stand in line. Okay, I've never experienced it personally, so I'm sharing this secondhand. But there are people supposedly that wait in line in other countries out under the sun to get a quart or a gallon, maybe at most, of antioxidant-rich alkalizing water. Now you notice I didn't say alkaline water. Folks, there is a major difference between alkaline and alkalizing. We have alkalizing water. Alkalizing points out an action. It is alkalizing to the body. I see many of you taking notes and taking pictures. Please continue to, feel free to. Anything that I have, you're welcome to. Just so you know, I do have pretty much this demonstration, the whole presentation on DVD. It's back there in the back afterwards that you have access to it. But please, feel free. Take pictures, do anything you want. Just want to let you know now that we're halfway through it and you got writing cramps, so you're welcome. Okay? So, how many of you learned something now you didn't know before you came? We're getting there. A few more of you. Why am I talking about vitamins all of a sudden? Wait a minute. We were talking about antioxidant water. Now, why vitamins? Guess what are antioxidants? Vitamins are antioxidants. Oh, then, if that is the case, then our water must be full of vitamins, right? No. See, you need to understand. This workshop, I commend Rick on naming the workshop the True Health Workshop. Okay, this isn't water workshop. It's True Health Workshop because there are different aspects of health. When we get antioxidizing potential from a water, it's electricity driven. It's electrical antioxidants. That does not minimize your need for physical antioxidants. That makes sense? Where do we get our physical antioxidants from? Foods, fruits and vegetables and grains, raw foods that have whole food vitamins. Part of my responsibility is to teach my athletes, my individuals, my clients, my customers that there is a major difference between whole food vitamins and synthetic or fractioned vitamins. Now, what do I mean by that? How many of you have heard the word ascorbic acid? Anybody? Most everybody. Someone tell me, what is ascorbic acid? Vitamin C. Okay? So ascorbic acid is vitamin C. We've been taught that since a young age. In fact, since elementary school, junior high, ascorbic acid equals vitamin C. And vitamin C is good for us because it boosts our immune system, and it's a great antioxidant. Ascorbic acid equals vitamin C. Guess what? We've been lied to. Ascorbic acid does not equal vitamin C. It doesn't. Ascorbic acid is a piece of whole food vitamin C. See, if I reach inside an orange or any other fruit or vegetable that's rich in vitamins, when here we're talking about vitamin C, if I reach inside there and pull out this vitamin C, 100% of the time in nature, because nature does not screw up, 100% of the time when you pull out that vitamin C, it is made up of 5 different pieces or fractions. It's made up of rutin. It's made up of a piece of J and K factors and bioflavonoids and a piece of ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid is no more vitamin C, not any more vitamin C, than if I came in here and I said, Jerry, you're sitting in the front row, you're the winner. I'm going to give you a brand new car. And you're so excited and you do this and I can't wait. And I go outside and I come back in with a tire and a steering wheel. Did I give him a car? Of course not. I gave him pieces of a car. How much value is that to you? Probably a bigger hassle than anything. You got to carry it out. You got to put it in your car. You got to find all the other pieces and buy all them before that's even any value to. Folks, I'm telling you, as you sit here today, consuming fractioned or pieces of vitamins is causing more damage than the value it can provide. Here's why. When we consume fractioned pieces, the body looks at it and says, oh, that's great. Boy, I needed this for the antioxidant. Thank you, ascorbic. Oh, wait. Hold on, body. I can't use that ascorbic acid until I have the other pieces. So you wait right there while I go and rob the other rutin, KJ factors, bioflavonoids. Then I bring it back. Then we have a whole food vitamin C. Then I can use it. Guess where the number one place that the K and J factors are robbed from? The collagen tissue. It's my favorite part. Right up front here. You fell right into the trap. The beautiful lady up front says, ooh, the collagen. And most of the guys are going, what the crap is collagen? Because more so, not all, but the women tend to buy care for their skin, more so, not always, than guys. And girls, I'm not letting any secrets out of the bag here, but we know how much you spend on skincare to nourish the skin. Yet, On the backside, every time we're consuming fractioned or synthetic forms of vitamins, we're robbing from the backside, robbing from collagen, robbing from collagen. So folks, my point is this. Getting good electrical antioxidants from our Kangen water is the greatest way to reduce oxidation, but it is also vitally important that our body gets physical antioxidants from fruits and vegetables and grains and things of that sort. Does that make sense? So what am I saying? We need to make sure, if you're taking a supplement that has any types of vitamins in it, you need to look on that label and make sure that that label says vitamin A from carrots, or vitamin A from sweet potatoes, vitamin C from acerola cherries or oranges or rose hips. It needs to say vitamin E from wheat germ and spinach and things like that. If it says things like ascorbic acid and calciferols and rutins and bioflavonoids, those are fractions. So it's not difficult to look on your label. And if you get confused, ask yourself, okay, have I ever climbed an ascorbic acid tree? Have you ever gone outside and hoed your alpha tocopherol garden? No. But you know these words. Labeling laws in America require the only way you can put those words on a label is if it's a direct extract. So make sure, whether you're taking my supplements from my company or from someone else's, make sure that you look on the label and you say, okay, now I've got the greatest antioxidant from the electrical form, and I am supplementing with the greatest forms of antioxidants from the physical form because it says it on the label. Fair enough? That's where it starts. That's what is the basis of everything we do. Second point that I want to make about and why I relate vitamins to this, because see, that's my background. My company sells and manufactures whole food vitamins, minerals, enzymes, probiotics, green leafy vegetable drinks, things like that. So why am I referencing it to the machine? Because guess what? The absorption of any vitamin or mineral or carbohydrate or protein or fat is very much dependent upon the pH balance of our internal system. How much value is the greatest vitamin in the world if it can't be absorbed? Zero. And absorption is very much dependent on a proper balance of pH in the body. The best way to balance that is to take and change the largest component, which is the water. Okay, does that make sense? Yes. How many of you have learned something you didn't know before you came? I've got my eye on one person. I know she's going to raise her hand before the end. Real quickly, I want to touch on minerals as well. Some may say, well, wait a minute, we're talking about alkaline water. We're talking about antioxidant-rich water. Why now are we talking about minerals? What is required to alkalize water? Minerals. Minerals are required. What happens when acidity begins to rise? What is the body's natural anti-acid? Anybody know? Nope. Minerals. Calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, also referred to as the electrolytes. Those four minerals, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, those four minerals are four of the most alkalizing form of minerals. So, if we're drinking waters and eating foods and doing things that cause acid to start to rise, the body says, ooh, that's not good, body. Acid promotes what? Disease. Body, that's not good. I've got to bring this acid back down, so I'm going to go and rob what? Minerals. Calcium, sodium, potassium, other minerals. Wait a minute. If I'm causing acid to rise every day from activity, from waters I drink, from sodas I drink, from other things that I do, if I'm doing that every day and the body is robbing calcium to neutralize that, what might that create? Inflammation. specifically, I'm going to ask it again. If I'm robbing specifically the number one alkalizing mineral, which is calcium, if I'm robbing that from areas of the body to neutralize this acid, what's that going to create? Osteoporosis. Do we have a problem in America today of increased osteoporosis and osteopenia and things like that? Massive, massive problem. We're seeing bone fragility increasing at rates we've never before seen in history. We're seeing bone breaks and fractures at rates we've never before seen in history. Might that be because our body is having to use those minerals for things that shouldn't have to be used for? Yes. Now, you heard me say earlier, my opinion, I have no problem with telling you it's opinion or telling you when it's study and research. There are research after research after research studies that show and promote increased acidity increases risks of osteoporosis. So how do we do that? How do we fix that? Do we say, okay, keep doing the same thing you were doing and just take more calcium? No. Because most of the calciums that are promoted and sold are in a form that are unabsorbable. And I'll show you what I mean. So let's not fix the symptom, let's fix the problem. And the problem in this scenario was what? Acid. Increased acid. We can't keep looking at symptoms. We got to fix the problem. Let me give you an analogy. I love speaking with analogies because sometimes it just makes it more clear. You're driving down the freeway, 4-lane freeway, everything's great. In fact, you're in a convertible. Hair blowing back, wind through your hair, everything's great unless you have no hair, then it just feels smooth. You're driving down the roadway, everything's great. You're cruising, you just passed an exit, so you know the next exit's not for a couple miles. Everything's good. You pull all the way to the inside lane, 75, this is great. All of a sudden, your oil light comes on. Beep, beep, oil, oil. Uh-oh. Next exit's not for 2 miles, you're doing 75. I don't know what to do. There's a problem going on, right? You're smarter than the average bear. So you reach under the dash and you grab that wire that goes to that light and you rip that wire out and the light goes out. I'm good for another 100 miles. What? The light's not on. There's no signal anymore. Did you fix the problem or the symptom? Symptom. You wouldn't do that in your car. Let's not do it with our health. Symptoms. See, people often say, well, cancer is a problem. Guess what? Cancer is a symptom. Diabetes is a symptom. Cholesterol, high cholesterol is a symptom. Heart attack is a symptom. Foggy mental clarity is a symptom. Lethargy is a symptom. You don't fix being lethargic by drinking energy drinks and saying, oh, I'm not tired anymore, I fixed the problem. No. You fix the problem by addressing the problem. When we're talking about minerals in particular, as I said, they're required to alkalize the body. And most of the minerals are not absorbed. They're given in the forms that they are given in. And those forms are in inorganic, I don't know if there's a pointer, inorganic forms. So just like I taught you the difference between whole foods and synthetic vitamins, I want to show you the difference between inorganic and amino acid chelated. Here's the difference. When you reach inside that same orange, that same apple, or that same kale, or that same anything that we pulled whole food vitamins out, this time though, we're going to pull out the mineral. Every single mineral in an organic form of food, 100% of the time, because God does not mess up, 100% of the time, every mineral in that food is chelated or tied to an amino acid. It's the amino acid that pulls that rock or mineral through the body for absorption. You with me? Yeah. That amino acid is vital for the transport. Rocks or minerals, they don't have a brain. They don't have arms and legs. They can't move. How and why are minerals in the plants that grow on the ground? Because of this. We plant the seed, things begin to grow up, but what grows down? Roots. And what are the roots' job? To absorb Minerals. Do you think in any way, shape, or form that there's a scenario where these roots are right here and there's minerals, say a foot down, rocks, that look up and say, yep, I'm going to get up there in that plant? Is there ever a time when that rock works its way up into there? No. Instead, the roots grow down. As they pass these rocks, they chelate or bind to the mineral. They pull the mineral into the root and ultimately into the plant. Without that chelation process, those minerals cannot get into the plant. Does that make sense? So with that being the case, it's no different when we take those minerals into the body. If we take the minerals that are sold in the marketplace, over 90% of all the minerals sold in the marketplace today are in an inorganic form. A form that has no amino acid tied to it. A form that they dug in the ground, crushed the rocks, put them in a capsule, and sold them. Differently when minerals are taken directly from foods. Like what I share with you with the whole food vitamins, same thing with the minerals. They are amino acid chelated. Now what is the difference and how is it to the human body? Study was conducted through Albion Laboratories, a company I've worked with for many years. The ability to swim for rats. We use rats often for a lot of different studies. The control group of rats swam 10 minutes, 10.1 minutes. All three groups were given the exact identical living conditions. Same lighting pattern, exact same feeding pattern, exact same waters and everything else, exercise processes, everything was identical. First group, 10 minutes, swam before they started to go under. Second group, which was given the exact quantity of supplemental minerals, but they were in the inorganic form, they swam 13.8 minutes. So you look at that and you say, wow, there was an increase. In fact, there's about a 30% increase, almost 40% increase. That's not bad. But the last group, which was given our amino acid chelated minerals directly extracted from a living food or a plant, exact identical quantity, they swam 48.3 minutes. Minerals increase activity. How? Because here's why. As acid begins to grow, the body starts to rob what to alkalize it? Minerals. But also as acid begins to climb, this comes from the athletic side. We did a study in my facility, in our facility in Arizona, 32 NFL football players, and what we found is that we see as acid goes up, mineral content goes down, but also oxygen availability. So if acidity is robbing oxygen from the body, we're not going to be able to perform as long, right? It's that simple. From an athletic perspective, that's a big deal. I say, why only from an athletic perspective? Again, if you follow me on my Thursday night webinars, things like that, you often hear me say, we are all athletes on our own field of play. We are all athletes on our own field. You might not play on AstroTurf or green grass. You're an athlete as a mother. You're an athlete as a father, as a husband, as a church member, as an employee, as a boss. We all want to perform better on our fields of play. And if we can increase that oxygen availability by reducing acidity and allowing whole food chelated minerals to be absorbed and utilized, now we're talking about increasing our health. Again, this event is perfect. True health webinar. It's about increasing health. And Rick, I love the fact that you always are saying, I want to increase people's health. It's not just about I want to hydrate people. I want to increase their health. Hydration is an important part of that, but don't miss the other aspects as well. When we are talking about the pH of a liquid, it's very, very important that we take that largest component in an alkalizing form. Go ahead and do these real quick. In fact, Rick, would you help me and pour those in as I talk about the difference between alkaline and alkalizing? How many of you have had someone say, Oh, you guys drink that Kangen water. That's great, but I already have alkaline water. Heard it all the time, right? Difference between alkaline and alkalizing. Alkaline, we can make alkaline water out of poo-poo water. We can make alkaline water from the toilet. We can make alkaline water from Kool-Aid. You add enough minerals to anything, water, you now have alkaline water. Does that water have the capability of changing the actual pH of the tissue sites within the body? No. We don't alkalize the water solely by mineral. We create alkalizing water by the electricity or the electrolysis process. That combination is vital to the difference between alkalizing and alkaline. Have you ever had someone say, oh, you tricked me, I tried your water, you sent me home with a gallon, I took a pH strip and I put it in there and it didn't show anything. In fact, it might have shown acidic. So your water is a fraud because I used my very own pH strip. Anyone experience that? If not, you might. Well, wait, how could that be? You said it's alkaline water. No, I said it's alkalizing water. pH strips are strips that measure the chemical components, and in this case, the chemical being the minerals, not chemical in a bad sense, chemical in a good sense. It measures the mineral content of that liquid and comes back out and it says that X amount of minerals are in this water, therefore its probability that it is this pH. Does that make sense? When we're measuring the chemical or mineral content, does not measure the activity of alkalizing. That's why we don't use pH strips to test our water. We use pH drops to help and as you can see, when we use pH drops, we're able to look at, we'll just put 2 or 3 drops real quick across here. When we use pH drops, we're able to see very quickly, hopefully each of you are able to see, carbonated drinks, orange, sports drinks, orange, Dasani, orange, Aquafina, orange, Smart Water. What is Smart Water here? Okay, it's almost neutral. It's right in between here, slightly acidic. It's a little bit green. Oh, wait a minute. So is Smart Water good? Well, I showed you a minute ago that regardless of the alkalinity, what about the potential to reduce oxidation? The potential to reduce oxidation of Smart Water is in the positive side, meaning it's oxidizing to the body. Again, we can make alkaline water by adding minerals, and if you read on Smart Water, we see that we are adding minerals. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but when you understand the difference between saying alkaline water and alkalizing water, that's one of the differentiating points between what we have. Fiji water, again, minerals are added, and it is more of the neutral. What we want is we want something that is alkalizing, or, as you see in the chart up there, more of the purple. Purple indicates that we are alkaline. Down on the front, down here. There we go. As we can see, we have purple down here, which is the alkaline. Change the largest component of our body, we have the better chance of alkalizing the body. Now, don't get me wrong, because many people say, you guys are horrible. You never want to change the pH of the blood. Did I once say we're interested in changing the pH of the blood? No. We don't want to change the pH of the blood. Blood stays the same pH in a healthy situation. Approximately 7.365, roughly right in that area, right? I don't know why. I love saying this. I don't know the correlation, but I just love the fact that it's 7 days in the week, 365 days in the year, 7.365. I just thought that was cool. I also think that it's pretty cool that the ocean water is supposed to be about 7.365 as well, roughly. So you look at that stuff and you're just like, it's amazing how many things the earth is made up about 80% water. Just seems like there's so many connections there. Now, real quickly, let's take, where's our, is there any more Kangen water, Rick, up here? Well, you grab some real quick. The alkalinity, guys, is the important part, okay? Not any more important than the potential, okay? I don't want to say ORP. We've got to get away from saying that, guys, because people don't understand what that is. We've got to help people understand we have the greatest potential, okay? And potential is no guarantee. It's the potential. We've got to give people the greatest potential to reduce that oxidative process. And we do that by providing the largest component of the body with an antioxidizing, alkalizing form of water. And that's exactly what we have here. I showed you the slides on the potential to reduce that oxidation. Now let me just show you real quickly. Thank you. Both 9.5. Okay. Let me just show you how easy it is. Well, wait a minute. That one's starting to turn a little bit. Let's try some of these more common waters. Didn't take anything at all. Didn't take hardly any at all. Didn't take hardly any at all. Okay? The Fiji water has high quantity of added minerals to it. Again, I'm not saying that's bad. There's nothing wrong with taking good minerals into the body, but we can't say, in my belief, that, oh, this is great because it's alkalizing what? No, it's alkaline. And it's not even alkaline, as we saw, it's more neutral. Okay? But when we go into our carbonated drinks, you can't even begin to change that. Can't even begin that process. How many of you think, well, one small drink, one swallow of Sprite isn't going to hurt me?
Oh, wow.
You want to think again? One small, just a little tad, not even a full capful, that's not going to hurt me. Let's go all the way to a full straight 9.5. All of these have almost all acidic, so that's not a big deal. Straight 9.5. Not even a full capful, probably.
Wow.
That's how acidic these things are, guys. Those are the types of things that cause us, these are the problems that cause the symptoms like cancer. That's weird that we're referring to cancer as a symptom, but I'm telling you, it is. It's a symptom of things gone wrong. All disease is a symptom of things gone wrong. And we're not going to fix it by taking a Band-Aid and fixing that symptom. We got to get back to the problem. The problem is we are becoming more and more and more acidic as a people. And those are the things that we have to change. We have to get away from the acidities of the waters we drink, the foods that we eat. Wait a minute. Did I say foods that we eat? How many of you think that there are certain foods that are acidic? Okay. Anybody want to name a few? What's that?
Peppers.
Sugar. Very, very acidic. Okay. Fried food? Someone say fried foods?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Nope.
Milk. Okay. Bananas. Okay. There's all kinds. Okay, here's the part that I want to point out, guys. And for probably about the next 10 minutes, I'm going to point out to you something that, to me, is probably as important as anything I share with you here today. Okay? And that is because of 22 years in the health and wellness industry, focused more so on the foods, nutrients that we consume. I talked to you about whole food vitamins, the importance of whole food vitamins as opposed to the inabsorbability of synthetic vitamins, okay? You all got that. We talked to you about whole food minerals and its absorption rates and value of increasing stamina, whether you're swimming. Okay, when I see that slide, my favorite thing afterwards is saying, you guys want an answer to winning the rat race? We have an answer for you, okay? It is good amino acid chelated mineral consumption. And as we consume those good healthy minerals, the body is able to use them to neutralize, to build up bone strength, to increase things like that. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, vitally important. In fact, let me see by a show of hands, how many of you believe that vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants are vital, are important absolutely to our health? Agreed. But guess what? Enzymes and probiotics are more important to the future health of America and the world than any vitamin, mineral, or antioxidant. Pretty strong statement. Enzymes and probiotics are more important to the future health of America and probably the world than any vitamin, mineral, or antioxidant. The reason I say that is because, you get up here to it, right here, the pH of most of the liquids. Battery acid, 1.0. Stomach acid, 2.0. Sports drinks, 2.4. They're right there by stomach acid, guys. Sports drinks that these kids are drinking because great athletes supposed to drink them. That's what they're drinking, and I'm telling you, they are almost acidic as stomach acid. No one here would drink a small cup of stomach acid, yet kids, and maybe of you sitting here in this room, will down Gatorade, I shouldn't say that, will down sports drinks. Those are problems. Energy drinks. Energy drinks are acidic, but guess what? They're less acidic even than the sports drinks. Most sodas, bottled water, we have access to Kangen water, which is alkaline. Now that's great. How many of you, by a show of hands, here's where I want some interactivity. How many of you, by looking at this right here, by learning what you've learned, have said, it's important enough to me in my life that I am never drinking carbonated drinks again? Good, that's a good number of you. Okay, let me ask another way then. How many of you would drink, let's just say a 12-ounce soda, no, let's say 6 ounces. How many of you would not drink 6 ounces of soda for $10? Would not do it. Okay? How many of you would not do it for $100? How many of you would not do it for $1,000? Okay? I'm getting some honesty, and I appreciate that. I'll tell you right now, I would do it. I would do it for $100. How many of you would drink it? I'm sorry. No. Yeah, how many of you would drink it? I've screwed me up. How many of you would drink it for $1,000? How many of you would drink it for $10,000? Okay? The number's going to get more and more. You see where I'm going with this, though. How many of you wouldn't drink it? I was right. Wouldn't drink it for $1,000. Would not do it for $1,000. I'll tell you, I would do it for $100. Now, why can I say that? Because this next statement will be more important to me, anyway, than anything else we've talked about. And this does not take away from the value and importance of the largest component of the body being water, but this is important for each of you to understand. Undigested foods cause a more dramatic increase or spike in acid production than any of the drinks we have listed above. Undigested food. So who was it over here that said fried foods? Okay, several of you. Fried foods are acidic. Guess what? Any food that is cooked or processed, any food that is cooked or processed is acidic. Why? Because if it is cooked or processed and you consume it, there is an acid production that skyrockets. I'm going to share with you exactly why. Time-wise, where are we at? 20 minutes. Okay, I'll be done in 40. Now, not really. Okay? So here's the part that I want you to understand. First and foremost, guys, first and foremost, nothing that I talk about will make any difference if we don't get the largest component of the body in balance first. Okay? But I'm standing here believing that most of you understand that part, that you know my conviction in it. If someone came and said, well, Shan, I can do your products of supplements and green drinks and things like that, or I could buy a Kangen water machine, but it has no relationship to you whatsoever. It's got to be from someone else. You make no money off of it or any value to you. What should I do? I will be the very first to say, you get that Kangen water machine. Well, that over your products? Absolutely 100%. Because my nutritional products are not going to make that big of a difference if your body is not balanced pH-wise, because the absorption can't happen the right way.
Does that make sense? So as I share this, please understand, I'm sharing it for information for you to be a healthier person, not to say one is more important than the other. Is that fair enough? Okay, so then, with that said, how can I show you that undigested foods cause a more dramatic increase in acid production than any other drinks listed above here? Okay, let's point out and start with metabolism. Is there a problem with metabolism in America today?
Yes.
Huge problem, and getting worse. Okay, how many of you sitting here have even blamed something on metabolism? Okay, whether it's lethargic, whether it's gaining weight, whether it's increased cholesterol, whatever it is, we blame metabolism on a lot of things. I mean, there are probably people out there like, oh, I got a hangnail. Metabolism sucks. I mean, we blame it all on metabolism. We blame it on metabolism. But is there one person in this room that can give me the actual definition of this thing we blame everything on? Anybody? What's the definition of metabolism? Anybody? Burn rate? Okay. Anything else? See, my point is, even if there was one of you, even if you were 100% right, even if 2 or 3 of you were, my point is, vast majority of us in this room, which are probably a little more educated, at least on health, than general America, we don't even know the actual definition of the word metabolism, but we blame everything on it. Here's the definition, guys. It is very, very, very simple. The definition of metabolism is the burning or utilizing of nutrients for energy. Now think about that for a minute. Don't let me confuse you, because it is simple. The burning or utilizing of nutrients for energy. If that is the definition, which it is, and I show you how we increase the utilization of the nutrients we consume, have we then increased metabolism? Yes. By balancing your pH, by changing your water, nothing more than changing the water and changing the pH in your body, how many of you have lost weight? How many of you have increased metabolism by changing your water? And we've done nothing about nutrition at this point. All we've done is change and balance that pH of the body, so the water is the key. But if I can also show you how we increase the utilization, and that's where my specialty comes in, if you will. How many of you have never seen my pudding demonstration? Never seen it? Good. So even if you've all seen it, I'm doing it again anyway, because I love doing it. So, I'm going to take you on a little journey with me, okay? Now, I want you to do some envisioning with me as we go. I want you to think about this container is your stomach. I want you to think about the pudding inside as the food that you eat. I don't care what food it is. I want you to think about it as any food you want to eat that is cooked or processed. So since you're envisioning, you can say, well, I can't really eat it, so I'm going to look at a Big Mac or a cheeseburger or whatever. Or maybe you're saying, nope, I'm going to stay healthy. I'm going to do the grilled chicken. I'm going to do the steamed vegetables. I don't care what it is. It's cooked or processed. That's the food inside of here. Okay? Now, we chew that food up, chew it up, swallow that food, goes down into the stomach, and sitting down there in the stomach, it starts churning around in there. Starts churning around in there. And what we have is food sitting in our stomach that is somewhat thick. And in this process, I'm going to set this one over here. If I set it down there, I'm afraid there's going to be a finger mark in it by the time I get done. Setting it over there. When that food comes down into the stomach says, whoa, we've got to break this down. Okay? I'm going to take this one, same exact one. We're going to do the same exact thing so you can see. Same thing. Food sitting in there. The only difference is, on this one, we're going to take one capsule of digestive enzymes. We're going to open the capsule up and put that in there. We're going to stir it around do this right up first so we can see, get a good stir in there. Okay, so that we can see, that's what we have. We have both foods, whatever that food is that you envisioned. One has enzymes, one does not have enzymes. Enzymes can only live to 118 degrees, 118. Anytime a food gets cooked or processed above 118, it kills every enzyme in that food. 118. And what are enzymes for? Anybody? They digest our food. So here's the second part of the envision. I want you to take and think for a minute. If we set out in the sun any raw food, a banana, an apple, let's just take a banana. We cut the banana in half, we set it out in the sun, come back 30 minutes later. What's happening to this banana?
It's brown.
Start to turn brownish, a little bit black maybe. Come back 8 hours later, what's happening to it? Mush, right? Okay, maybe it's a day, maybe it's 2 days, but bottom line, it turns into this mush. Why? Okay, and the same thing happens with an apple, the same thing happens with a salad, the same thing happens, anything that is raw, the enzymes are in there, the warmth of the sun activate those enzymes begin the digestive process of breaking it down into a liquid form. Now, flip side, if I set out in that same spot, something that has been cooked or processed, raw has the enzymes, cooked or processed, no enzymes, so I set out there a Big Mac, a Whopper, Twinkie, white bread, wheat bread, I don't care. Come back an hour later, what's happening to that? Is it getting softer or harder? Harder, right? Well, now those of you that are saying, yeah, but I don't eat those foods. Okay, grilled chicken breast. Okay, grilled fish, steamed vegetables. Those are healthy foods, right? But they're also cooked. So we set that grilled fish or that grilled chicken breast out there, come back 8 hours later, what's happened to it? Is it softer or harder? It's harder. The nutritional value of a food is completely dependent upon its ability to be utilized within the body, right? What's the value of zero? Zero. If the food doesn't have the enzymes to be broken down, it cannot be utilized within the body without the body doing special things. That makes sense so far? Okay? So, here's what's supposed to happen in a perfect world. We chew up the food, we swallow it. It sits in that upper portion of the stomach. The upper portion of the stomach has a process. Get here. Upper portion of the stomach. This is what's supposed to happen. Upper portion of the stomach surrounds it, and if those foods are raw, those enzymes are activated because of the warmth of the stomach. The stomach secretes a tiny little bit of stomach acid. That stomach acid, one of its responsibilities is to activate those enzymes. The enzymes start breaking that food down. Drops to the lower portion of the stomach. The lower portion of the stomach says, great. Went through the process, we're breaking it down, we're going to let it out into the system, it's going to go on through the system, and if the pH is right, we can absorb those nutrients through the gut wall and be absorbed for energy. Does that make sense? Okay, is there anybody confused so far? You understand? It's very simple. Break it down. Because what is it that carries nutrients and delivers it all throughout the body? Blood. More specifically, the blood cells. Can anybody show me how big a red blood cell is? Smaller than the eye can see. Wait a minute. So if it's smaller than the eye can see, and their job is to carry nutrients throughout the body, how small must that chicken breast get broken down to before it can get transported throughout the body? Darn tiny. Tinier than the eye can see. And what is required for that process? Enzymes. Okay, so I just showed you the process that is supposed to happen. Now, here's what is happening. We chew up and swallow a food that is cooked or processed. Healthy or unhealthy, I don't care. Grilled chicken breast, Whopper, I don't care. We chew it up, we swallow it. Upper portion of the stomach, upper portion of the stomach surrounds it, secretes a tiny little bit of what? Stomach acid to activate the what? But what is missing in this cooked food? Enzymes. So guess what the body does? Oh, no, nothing's happening. I better secrete a little bit more what? Wait, this was a bunch of cooked food. It was a Big Mac. It was a grilled chicken breast. I better secrete some more what? Acid. And so that acid is coming in there saying, there's no enzymes, so I've got to really get some acid in there to soften this food up because I've got to force it down through that system because it's going to cause a problem. A few minutes later, drops to the lower portion of the stomach. The lower portion of the stomach's job is to make sure that it's broken down enough. If it was softened up just enough to get to that lower portion, the lower portion of the stomach looks at it and says, oh no, I can't let you go until you're much smaller than you are now, so I'm going to flood the stomach with acid. But wait a minute, you had a healthy meal. You had a grilled chicken breast. You had steamed vegetables. You had a baked potato with no butter, no sour cream. You had a wheat roll. That's healthy. Again, what is the nutritional value of a food that can't be absorbed? Zero. So anytime we consume a food that is cooked or processed, the stomach goes into this response of, oh my gosh, we've got to secrete so much acid in there. When we eat foods that are cooked or processed, this is what we have. We have these large chunks of energy, of nutrients that the body says, I want to use. I want to give you energy. But until that is broken all the way down into the tiniest little form, I can't use you. So without those enzymes, all I can do is flood the body with acid. Acid goes out, this cauldron of acid, try and soften the food just enough to what? Force it through the system. Do we have a problem in America today with constipation and or diarrhea? Yes. Huge problem. One of the fastest growing problems that any doctor will tell you, it's one of the fastest growing, most common problems in America today, but it's never discussed. It's taboo. We don't talk about poop. You know what? We better start. In this scenario of the body flushing with acid, just enough to force it through, can and does cause constipation. In the scenario of flushing and flushing so much acid because there's so much food there, can and does cause diarrhea. So when someone says, well, what do I do for constipation or diarrhea? Increase your digestion. No, I mean, what if it's one or the other? Increase your digestion. The problem is the same. The problem is we have foods down here that are being consumed that we're being taught, oh, that's healthy. How many of you know someone that eats healthy but overweight? We all do. Eats healthy but they're always sick. Eats healthy but their cholesterol's high. Same thing on the flip side. We all know people that eat horribly but they're fit. Eat horribly but their energy's high. We know those. It's not about what we consume. It's about what we utilize. And enzymes and balanced pH is vital. Why do I talk about enzymes in the pH portion of our amazing technology? Because enzymes are sensitive and pH sensitive. So if we consume foods even that have enzymes without a balanced pH, we're not going to utilize those nutrients. When we consume those same foods that is cooked or processed, and we include enzymes back into those nutrients, we give it the time to go into the stomach says, hey, enzymes are there, tiny little secretion of hydrochloric or stomach acid to activate those enzymes, no more acid required, my acidity stays low, and the body begins this process of saying, now we can break that food down into little enough particles to be absorbed into the bloodstream. And when we do that, we have increased the utilization of the nutrients, correct? Reversing back, metabolism equals utilization of nutrients for energy. Does this increase utilization? Yes. So have we increased metabolism? Yes. You balance the body's pH. You increase the digestion of the nutrients we are consuming. You will increase your metabolic activities as an individual. Increases energy, increases fat burning, increases muscle growth, increases reproductive processes. How many of you have learned something now you didn't know before you came here? I got that lady. Raise her hand. Thank you all. I'm glad. Okay. I use this because often when that acidity begins to grow, okay, we ate something bad, we get what is called what? Acid reflux, indigestion, GERD's disease. Those are all acid related, right? And so to fix that problem, we are consuming, not we in this room, but we in America consume what? Anti-acids. Anti-acids come into the body and neutralize that. Are we fixing the symptom or the problem? Fixing symptoms, not problems. To fix the problem, we have to either start choosing to eat more raw fruits and vegetables, which I would suggest, and or when you do eat something cooked or processed, you supplement into that a broad spectrum of digestive enzymes, probiotics, exactly like what I showed you right here. Now, whether it's mine or someone else's. Guys, I'm not here to say, I hope you all buy from me. I'm here to say, I hope that you are learning, so when you walk out of here, whether you go to a GNC, whether you go to mine, whether you go to someone down the road, just make sure you understand whole food vitamins, chelated minerals, good antioxidants, probiotics, enzymes for the breakdown of those nutrients. Those all together reduce the acidity, balance the pH, and allow the body to function in a way that it wasn't able to function before. Does that make sense? We got to get away from things like this. Drinking that pink stuff, okay? Now that wouldn't be ethical or even honest of me to mention their name, but I'm just going to say, we got to get away from stuff like that, okay? What? I don't get it. These are the things that we have to look at. Don't fix symptoms, fix problems. It starts with getting away from the biggest problem, which is acidity from the largest component. How many of you, a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. How many of you, before being involved in this company, tested the pH of the water you were drinking every single day? Anybody? Of course not. We don't do that. Now, I come from Arizona. Everybody in Arizona owns a swimming pool. And it's common knowledge that you go out and test the pH of that swimming pool at least once a week, if not every day. Depending on the time of season, we go out and we test the pH every day. And it's simple. You kneel down, get a little bit of water there, you put a drop in it, you look at it based on the color, just like up here. Okay, we're good. We're slightly alkaline. We're good. Everything's good. But in that bad scenario of kneel it down, put a little drop in there, uh-oh, pH isn't right. It's acidic. I mean, in Arizona, we go into a frantic run. We've got to get the chemicals and throw the chemicals in. And if we're out, we screech to the store. I mean, instantly. I don't care if my kid's in the hospital. We got to get to the store, get the chemicals for my pool. Because heaven forbid, if my pool is slightly acidic, it's going to promote what? Algae, bacteria, sickness, disease. So you run to the store, pay whatever amount of money, I don't care. You get the chemicals, you run back, you throw them in the pool, you pray over the pool. You do everything you got to do to make sure that, oh, phew, my pool is now slightly alkaline. Oh, I saved the day. Folks, my question is this: why in the world would the pH of our pool that our kids pee in be more important than the pH of the waters that we drink? Why? It makes no sense. It's a process that we in this room get to start teaching people. The pH of that water that we put into our body, that body that we're given one chance to keep healthy or to get healthy, the pH better be right. The potential to reduce the oxidative processes needs to be right. The supplementation of good enzymes and probiotics and whole food vitamins and minerals and antioxidants need to be right and synergistically work together. And when they do that, we see things and hear testimonies like we hear from many of you in this room and people all around the world. We're finding the energy that we never had before. We're lowering cholesterol that we thought was out of control. We're dropping the weight that we thought was just stuck on us forever. We're understanding that metabolism can be increased again. We're understanding so many of these different things, and so much of it comes down to either a lack of education or a misunderstanding or a lack of teaching the right things. See, all of us in this room thought that ascorbic acid was the right vitamin. You now know it's not. Many of us in the room beforehand thought, oh, I got to drink bottled water because tap water's horrible. Bottled water is going to make me healthy. Well, yeah, it's better than tap water, but now we know that it's aging to the body. We have to make the changes that we need to make. That right there is a good start to that. Okay, and I've got more information back there on any of the products and stuff, but bottom line, I hope you understand the value of good, broad range enzymes, probiotics. They're very pH specific, so you want to make sure you get a good strain that is stabilized in those pH, in those systems. And then a good greens drink. Okay, again, whether it's mine or someone else's, guys, it doesn't matter. Make sure that you have a greens drink that is rich in minerals. Most of the water stores across the country, and Rick and I are talking about right now, possibility of having some in his store, but the greens help with the mineral content. And now when we're drinking the water, those minerals are used to alkalize the body. So with that said, lastly, a book that I finished, Living Alkaline in an Acidic World. It's a book that I finished about a year ago. It was with Dr. Horst Filter. He put a lot of parts in there. Just a lot of different doctors in the alkaline world. But what this book talks about is, first of all, what I talked about today. We're faced with a lot of acidity. So how can we live a more alkaline lifestyle? It revolves around the SD501. I talked about how that should be in every single home. But we also then talk about the other additions, greens and enzymes and probiotics and things like that. There's a whole section in there for kids recipes, kids menu, all kinds of good healthy recipes for the kids, how to make snacks, all kinds of stuff like that. And then there's about 30 pages of good alkalizing recipes. That's where it starts, so guys. Without that, none of the other stuff matters. Without that Kangen SD501 or the K8 or whatever it is that you have the opportunity of purchasing, that is where it starts. I personally believe with all of my heart, that is that one stake in the ground that everything else revolves around. Every other part. I personally believe it's going to be hard to be mentally fit without the proper pH, without that proper balance of the largest component of the body. It's going to be hard to have the mental capacity of your religious beliefs or your whatever beliefs it is that you have. I believe that acidity is killing us in America and around the world. And the number one thing to change that is changing that largest component of the body. And bottom line, in closing, that statistic is alarming, and it should be to each and every one of us. It is a travesty that we are being told and taught that there's a program in place to care for your health when it's not. Okay? And I'm not here, I'm not political, I'm not saying they're bad and we're good and we're a revolution that's going to show them. No. I'm saying that it is what it is. But I believe with all of my heart that when we do events like this, and we get people like the Michelle Rayleighs and the Ricks and others around this country that come in to take their Saturdays like today and other weeks and other months to teach and share this education, that as we learn this stuff and we go out and share it with others, I believe that there will come a day where we're able to say, you know what, we have made a difference in this world. We have hit that bottom, we have started coming back up. We are changing the landscape of healthcare as we know it in the world today. And it's going to take a team, and as we do that, we're going to be able to overcome this absolute misuse of money put towards sick management. We're going to be able to free up that money to do things that are way more important to us, like feeding the hungry, like providing for the shelters, like giving the money to our troops that are overseas that are fighting for the very, very freedoms that we all get to enjoy every single day in this country. And as we do that, I know there will come a time where we're able to say, as an organization and as a group, we made a change. We have enhanced and enriched the quality of life for millions of people around this world. And I look forward to doing it with each and every one of you and anybody else that wants to join this mission with us. Thank you all. God bless. And I look forward to the rest of the day so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great. You hear me? How awesome is that?
That's what drives me. Like I said, he's my go-to guy. Amazing. Shan, thank you so much. Love you. I appreciate you. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little 15-minute break, go to the bathroom, drink some more water, a little snack, and then we'll start our next segment. Awesome.